So what I did
Why
was...
would you give anyone lingerie?
Your girlfriend. You would give your girlfriend lingerie. Or someone you're... Whatever.
We're your friends. That's your girlfriend.
So
why
that
would
guy-
I want lingerie unless I'm Tom
So
Cruise?
anyway, this guy, I really, 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 really wanted to get him. So what I did was, I waited for everyone to come and sit for lunch.
Mhm.
So you know when guys just place their phones on the table without knowing.
Yeah.
So I took his phone, and back then people didn't have passcodes on phone. It still wasn't a thing. So I took his
Yeah.
phone, and then I went to the internet. I downloaded "I'm a Barbie Girl," the song.
Yeah.
Then I set it as the ringtone. Then I put the phone back, and then as everyone else is chilling, I called his phone. So my guys too amechilla, alafu nasikia I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Yeah.
Bro, like that's just wrong.
That's a legit prank. That's a good prank.
Yeah, no, that's a good prank as opposed to some of these other ones where it's like you're busy running, then some guy slaps you with like soapy water. or something.
What? Hiyo tunaweza kusana by the way.
Anyways, we've got a podcast to start. Let's hit it. Welcome to Break Time on Westside, your number one break time podcast, coming to you from Nairobi, Kenya. The man on the mic is the man himself, the tallest nigger that has been on a mic and still not gotten off the mic yet. The man who's been around for over 90 episodes. You're tall, dark, and mildly handsome, Sir Denver B. And on the mic with me today is a man who refers to himself as the shit extraordinaire.
Shit-talker.
He is the one person who deserves to adopt a light. If light skin was a term, he'd be the opposite. And if anything, he's a lot closer to most fat people's shadows than anything else. It is none other than Njuguna Makau.
Yes, sir.
This is Tweetstreet, the show where we dive into Twitter, pull up a bunch of different tweets, and, just throw some love around them, discuss them a little bit, because we believe that some of these topics do need to be discussed. Now, I am going to admit that from the time of this recording, it's been a bit of time since, how would I say it? It's been a bit of time since we did the recording as of the time of posting. It could be a couple of weeks, could be a month or two, but it's mainly because of the timing in which we did the recording, because when I was getting this story and when I wanted to run it, there was a lot of stories of women being raped and sexually harassed, and I figured bringing this story in would be counterproductive to the entire movement of, supporting rape. So that being said, let me dive into that tweet real quick. It says, "Hi everyone, I'm so-and-so, and this is me doing what I should have done a while ago. I'm sorry this thread is coming late. I didn't have the strength and mental balance to compose and drop this when the whole matter was heated because I was not only sad, I was shocked to my teeth." Now, just to continue on, I kind of had to shorten it because it's a long-ass thread though. But I'll just mention the important bits. "I hurriedly dropped the apology so I can get over the trauma I was going through at the time and get a mental balance to come forward properly. I had to stay away from the internet and from people because I've never experienced this type of accusations before. But thankfully, blah, blah, blah. I finally have the strength now." The fuck? "I am not a rapist. I never raped anyone and will never rape anyone. Seeing tweets from my ex-girlfriend, so-and-so, actually, let's just call her Babe, accuse me of rape just because we broke up shows the length people could go just to ruin you. It was so surprising to see her say I raped her and abused her over, and she has had to endure with it. Wow, it's sad that all a woman needs to bring a man down now is accuse him of rape, and of course all women will drag the man without hearing his side. But it's even more sad that men will also join this without hearing both parties, knowing fully that every man who has had sex with a woman is at risk of getting slandered with sexual harassment, and there is little you can do about it. January 10th was my birthday, and Babe came from her town to my town to celebrate with me, and we lodged in a hotel in my town. We had fun, had sex that night, and in the middle of the sex, Babe stopped talking, which is not unusual as she doesn't talk during sex and after the sex." Yo, she sounds like she's not the moaning type. She sounds like she'll just lie back and like...
She's that quiet. She's that night prep before you go to sleep.
Yeah, she's like those meditation songs.
Yep.
With the volume turned down to like 1. Anyways, that aside. So she came to me and she said she was sore during the sex, so I wanted to make her feel better, and then she started crying and said she felt like she had just been raped. Wow. What brought rape into this? of all days, it had to be my birthday that you willingly left your town to my town to spend time with me. So I invited my girlfriend from her town to my town just to rape her on my birthday when I know she'll willingly have sex with me. I don't understand. Thread ain't over yet. Now, what's hurting me more is that I told her not to come to my town because of my birthday, because I found it to be too much stress for her, but she insisted that she wanted to come. If she didn't come, I wouldn't be accused of rape right now, but she kept on insisting that she wanted to come, and she finally came just to ruin my life. Now you guys tell me exactly, why will I rape someone that we both had consensual sex? Did I threaten you? Did I blackmail you to give me sex? Were you drunk? Haven't we been having sex for more than 5 months already? Didn't you agree to have sex with me that night? We both willingly took off our clothes. You even put on the condom for me. Can someone ask babe what reason I have or used to rape her? It's okay to be biased because she's a woman or you've already picked sides, but if you have any conscience, you'd know I'm telling the truth. The moment I heard the word rape, I knew I couldn't continue in the relationship, so I don't get accused of rape, but alas, it happened even after the breakup. Now, speeding through a bunch of things, there was a couple of screenshots of texts that this guy had with a girlfriend, and she was busy talking about how when she went silent during the sex, he should have noticed that it was like her withdrawing consent or some shit, and then stopped. But I'm going to get to that in a bit, because the thread ain't over yet. Our society doesn't allow boys to show hurt or weakness after a breakup. That is why I kept dropping those comments, trying to prove to the world that I didn't care about her anymore, but I did. Anyways, I did. The past few days have given me a deep reflection about life and how disadvantaged men are. I was broken not because of me, but my mom. Babe's dad called her the mother of a rapist and accused her of not training her children well. My mom cried for days and I couldn't help but blame myself. It killed me slowly seeing her humiliated. And yes, the thoughts of suicide crossed my mind, but I needed to stay strong for my family and friends. At that point, I wished I had just remained single. Maybe my family wouldn't have been shamed this way, because the only crime I committed is falling in love and going into a relationship. I apologize to my friends and family that has in some way taken an attack for my sake. I'm sorry that you guys have to be involved in this. Thank you to everyone that has messaged me or tried to reach me out in the past few days. This is my truth, and I'm done running from it. Now, it's about time we discuss this.
Oof.
Tell me that hasn't sent you the wrong way.
Man, to be honest, I don't even know where to start with this whole story. It's hitting on a lot of points that I've been trying to summarize this week, and you can even feel it online, even on Twitter this week, whereby
as of the time of this recording,
whereby you find that if you have a thought that is different from what is normal or expected from people, or if you just think a little bit different, or you question the norm, oh my God, they're like called social justice warriors. They will come for you.
Yeah. And that's probably where a lot of my issue comes in, because a lot of times you'll find that whenever a rape story comes out, whenever someone comes out and says, I've been sexually harassed, if it's a woman, it just becomes this whole thing of this man sexually harassed me, and it's like, this guy is to blame. This guy is a predator. This guy is a sex offender.
Let's put his stuff online. Let's cancel his job. Let's make sure he doesn't. And you know, the funny thing is, all this is usually done in the court of public opinion.
Yeah. This is done solely off of the court of public opinion. And logically, you're supposed to listen to both sides of the story. But for some people, it seems like that's a problem. So now to sort of take you back a couple of days ago, there was this girl that released this video giving a story about her rape. Not that I'm attacking her or anything. This is in no way, shape or form meant to offend her. But at some point while she was busy talking, actually not too far from the beginning, about a minute and a half in, she goes in and she's like, I don't see why it is that people are saying that we needed to listen to all sides of the story and everything. In a rape situation, it's only the victim's side that matters. And I'm not gonna lie.
Well,
you might have been hurt. Like, yes, I get it. You've been raped. And I'm deeply sorry for what it is that you went through. But let me be straight up and say that is bullshit. That is absolute bullshit. Because a lot of times You will hear guys are getting slandered on. Guys are being put in very tough positions. People are losing jobs simply because someone said that they're uncomfortable with them looking at them a different way. Simply because someone said that they raped them. Yet, sometimes it might not even be true. Because a lot of guys do go through a lot of this shit, but it's not like people will come back and apologize.
It's traumatizing.
Exactly.
It's very traumatizing because somebody posted it on Twitter and she said, I don't see why you guys are making such a big deal out of this. The woman just lied. I mean, you can't even compare it to rape. And I'm like, yeah, you're not physically assaulted, sure. But let's look at the effects of fake rape claims. First of all, you go to jail. No questions asked. Before anything is figured out, you'll be in a cell.
Exactly.
Let's just start from there. Number two, for you to get out of that cell, for you to function normally in society, as the case goes on, you'll have to pay bail and bond. Either one of the two, don't know which one.
Yeah.
So, right? So, those are financial costs. Now, let's look at your workplace. Obviously, your workplace...
they want to maintain a certain reputation.
Exactly. You will most likely lose your job.
Exactly.
You will most likely lose friends.
Exactly.
And even family. Now, imagine your mom being called the mother of a rapist. I'd cry. If my mom was called that, I'd cry, especially if I knew that I wasn't a rapist. Oh,
exactly. Man. And the worst bit about it is there's very few things that are as bad as being wrongfully accused. Like, I'm sure when we were kiddos, at some point or another, we'd be accused by a teacher for doing something that we didn't necessarily do, and then we probably get punished.
It's happened.
That kind of bile, that shit stays with you. That shit stays with you a lot. And it's almost uncontrollable in a sense. So when you sit back and you listen to some of these stories, it does kind of bring up this whole question of, are we trying to protect one side to the detriment of another? Are we trying to help women? Because by all means, I do believe rape victims don't get enough support from society. They do deserve more support.
Agreed.
But at the same time, how are we supporting them? Like, how are we trying to protect our society by demonizing one entire side? Because by all means, like, I'm not turning this into a men are trash movement fight or anything, because hell, we had an episode and we even had to delete it because of that.
Oh, yeah.
But when you start to demonize one entire gender for the actions of a certain few, forgetting that even your gender also commits some of
it's
these
not
acts.
Perfect. By the way, let me tell you, some of the darkest creatures on this earth are women. Women can be very dark.
Some women.
Some women, they can be
we don't generalize here.
Incredibly dark. I think what we are trying to say is you cannot generalize a statement for an entire group of people and expect it to apply. Not to men, not to women, not to children, not to adults, not to gays, not to lesbians, not to whoever you want to generalize it to. There's not a single statement that applies to everyone equally, even breathing oxygen, which you'd think that's not something that we can argue.
Yeah.
Right? But not everybody breathes oxygen normally. Some need ventilators and shit.
Yeah. And this entire fight, and this is probably part of the reason I'm usually against a lot of these so-called social justice warriors, is because they're shooting straight, but they're not shooting specific. Hell, I'm sure it's not like all of us have dealt with guns or played Call of Duty or anything, but if you're shooting at something, you usually want to make sure you hit the target. But the thing is, these guys don't have a particular target. They're just attacking a general direction.
Like, all men are rapists.
And then there's this bullshit that I've heard of, if the shoe doesn't fit or if the shoe fits. And they usually just say, if the shoe fits, blah, blah, blah. I sit back and I'm like, but you said men. Men as in plural of man being me. Are you properly taking into account that? Because why is it that you're coming to attack one entire side and then afterwards you're like, you know what, even though I said all men, I don't mean all men. I mean the rapists, the misogynists, the sex offenders, the people that sexually harass women, and the enablers.
But if you feel attacked, you are probably one of them. And I don't think that's necessarily true. I don't think so.
Yeah, because it's sort of like coming out and saying black people are monkeys. Sounds like a very racist statement.
Or all white people are racist.
Actually, I might add it most. Yeah, it's like saying white people are racist. It's not true, but I actually wanted to use the black people one just because I know how riled up people get whenever people start saying black people.
Black people are monkeys.
Yeah, but let's just go with black people are monkeys. You go and you say black people are monkeys on any social site on this planet, on any social site. You go and you say that,
You'll be cancelled.
you won't just be cancelled. You will be attacked.
Oh, I will attack you.
Yeah. And even though you say it's because there's a certain uncivilized community somewhere, say in a certain island of the planet that just, climb trees and move around like monkeys and they just eat fruits, blah, blah, blah. Will people care? They will attack you for that.
Yep.
Because it's gonna just be seen as you being racist. But when someone comes out and says men are trash, they expect that men aren't supposed to come out and be like, you know what, that's absolute bullshit. And then they expect that we're supposed to be okay with it.
Atuna feelings, we don't feel it. You know, when all men are called trash, all men are called rapists. As in, to feel. See, I mean, all men must know one rapist somewhere, right? I mean, we are all, or at least one of our friends must be a rapist, right? That's the logic.
And I think that's something else that I find particularly daft to a level, because someone was actually asking, how is it that every woman knows another woman that's been sexually abused or sexually harassed or maybe even raped, but men don't know rapists, or at least men don't know a friend of theirs that's a rapist? And I'm like, well, probably because we try to have good friends.
It's not in the checklist of qualities you look for in a friend.
Yeah, it's not like you're going through a list of friends and you're like, so
this guy can be a good rapist friend, huh?
Yeah, he looks like he rips clothes and like he drugs women and he slides in. Of course, if you have a friend that does that, you completely dissociate yourself with them.
But I'll tell you this for a fact. My friends and I, you hit your woman, we are not talking.
Exactly.
You abuse your woman, especially in front of us, we are not talking. If he rapes you, it's not something that he comes and tells us. It's not like you'll find a bunch of dudes seated down and then one comes and like, hey, my guys, hey, Jana, nilikarip. No, it's not. They don't do that. That's not how it works.
Yeah. Fine. I get that a lot of people were angry because, say, not a lot of swift action was done. Like, let me just say that in quotes. Not a lot of swift action per se was carried out on the offenders or the perpetrators or alleged perpetrators of the rape stories that were coming out. But when you sit back and you look at this story, I'm sure a lot of us guys, especially in the studio, because we're a bunch of guys in the studio, I'm sure at least with all of us, we know at least one person that's been wrongfully accused of some form of sexual harassment or rape.
I know someone.
I know like 2 people. And the thing is, if we use the same exact standards that women use, that a lot of women use for sexual harassment and rape, we've all been sexually harassed and a couple of us have been raped before. Now, my issue with this is, I think as a society, yes, as men, we do need to have a good long conversation and conversations about sexual harassment and rape. But at the same time,
absolutely,
yes.
Can we just emphasize it? Because I feel like if one of these feminists listens to this particular podcast,
they'll stop.
They will say, one, they'll stop halfway. 2, they won't. They will hear us, but they won't listen to exactly what we are saying.
Yes.
And what we are saying is, men have a responsibility to each other,
yes,
to their friends, to their sons, to their fathers, to even strangers, to hold them accountable in any case regarding sexual assault.
Yes.
And it's our duty to protect women from such scenarios whenever we can.
Exactly.
And wherever we can. So we're making that absolutely clear. But
that being said, as much as we do want to have these talks, we need to accept one thing. A lot of sexual harassment is very subjective. It's very, very subjective because if you look at some situations, especially when you look at sexual harassment, it particularly just depends on whether she's okay with it and whether she likes it. Or
if she likes you.
Or at least, whether
if she doesn't like you, you're stalking. If she likes you, it's a thing.
Yeah. If you touch her, whether it's accidental or not, and she likes you and she doesn't mind how you've touched her, it's okay. It's flirting. But if she thinks you're ugly, if she doesn't really seem interested in you in any sort of way whatsoever, you've sexually harassed her. And in the world that we're living in, especially with this consent, sexual harassment driven world, which is very, very subjective, I am not going to lie. It is very terrifying for me as a man to go and hit on random women.
I don't.
Yeah, well, yeah, I also don't, because I don't know if I'm going to be perceived to have sexually harassed someone. I don't want to be looked at as someone who sexually abused a babe. Sometimes even us guys trying to be nice is perceived as some form of sexual harassment.
Let me tell you, at work, I do not poop where I eat. And I say that because when you're at work and you're a man and you see a girl that you really like, that you really, really, really like, and you make a move and you have not read your HR manuals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mind you, texting her, hey, what's up? Can we have coffee? That can be considered sexual harassment.
If they don't like you.
If they don't like you. So depending on your organization, personally speaking, regardless of the HR policies, I do not mess with people in the same company, because it can easily turn to that person is sexually harassing me. So let's just be professional. Limits, boundaries, even hugs, keep it to yourself.
Yeah, because there is sort of this thing of you don't mix business with pleasure. It's a rule that I try to abide by as much as possible. I don't mix with the people that I work with. Even back when I was doing like campus radio and shit, I would never have a thing with my presenter, because all my presenters, except for like one, were female. And no matter how good they look, no matter how much I really felt like I'd want to do something with them, it's like, you know what? Nah, I can't. Even right now, much as I'm doing my podcast alone, if I'm dealing with a woman or I'm doing some form of business or I'm working with them, I'm not going to try and make a move.
Don't do it.
Because on top of that, it's not just going to look like sexual harassment. You're going to be termed as, actually, this whole term of being a predator, it's bad. Because right now, if you're a murderer, it's bad, but it's not like the entire society will cancel you for it. Like, cancel culture is bad.
I get the joke. I actually had that joke. Where was it?
Yeah, but we won't reference them here. They didn't pay us.
Yeah, they were saying that if R. Kelly killed somebody, we would have zero problems playing his music in clubs, on radios, zero.
Yeah.
But because he was shagging underage women, we can't play his music. It's weird.
Yeah, being considered a sex offender right now is like the worst thing ever, because you will be cancelled by society. People will automatically hate you even though they don't understand what's happened. We're not saying that we discount whatever it is R. Kelly did. I'm not saying that I'm on his side or I think that what he did was okay or anything, but just the mere fact that you're accused of that, whether it's proven or not, whether it's a false allegation or not, you're going to be cancelled automatically.
Oof.
And I think if this is the society that we're in, honestly, as a guy, it sucks, because you're the one that's expected to make the move. You're the one that's expected to go and hit on someone. But
if she misinterprets it by anything, it's on you.
Yeah, it suddenly becomes your problem. If you're not, like, if you try helping her out, it could be taken as a good thing. But even as a friend of ours was busy saying, it could be termed as some form of sexual harassment or attempted rape.
I got the term for it. Mansplaining.
Yeah. It's suddenly this thing where just because you're a guy, if you've done anything to a woman and a certain bunch of them, or even she doesn't think that it's right, you're suddenly a sex offender. You can help them out from the club. Probably she had already KO'd. And this is something that I've tried to cover once before. You go, you drink a little bit too much, you KO. People don't know where you live. You're not with a properly supportive group of friends. You end up going home with some guy. You don't know if anything happened. You don't know if you're the one that asked for it to happen. You get up the following day, you cry rape. You come out and you're like, no, he raped me. And because you were under the influence, it's termed as unconsented by law, I think. And then all of a sudden, the guy is a sex offender. Like, that's personally why I can never, like, I can't go home with, like, I can't pick up a girl from the club and go home with her because, well, I don't drink. And the worst part about that is I'm sober. So if anything happens, whether she wanted it or not, she gets up the following morning and she claims that I raped her, I'm fucked. I'm completely and utterly fucked.
After you fucked?
Even though I did or I didn't.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I'm fucked either way. So I'd rather just stay away, stick to my lane, chill with my people, not do anything, but go back home and maintain a pretty nice, sane, uninterrupted, uncriminalized life.
Let's get to the crux of the argument. And what I would personally like to say is, dear feminists, we are not trying to diminish your activities or whatever it is you're trying to do.
Yeah.
The problem is you're trying to step on men so you can lift women up. And also at the same time, you find that if you look really, 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 really closely, it's not even a matter of equality. It's they just want more privileges.
Female privilege?
Yeah, they do want more privileges. So absolutely, I am for the conversation of pro-choice, blah, 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 women's rights. I am absolutely all for that.
I honestly don't even know what the fuck women's rights are.
Like for example, for the longest time, I used to believe in the pay gap.
Yeah.
Right? That shit doesn't exist.
Bullshit.
It doesn't exist. It was explained to me and I was wondering, how the hell have I been pushing this argument for so long? We can argue for better pay because women can be paid less.
Yes.
And actually, that's a fact. A friend of mine was telling me about how women can lower the salaries in an organization, because when I go for a job and they ask me for my pay, I'll ask for, let's say, 100K.
Yeah.
Because maybe her self-esteem is a bit low, she'll say 60 or 50.
Yeah.
Why would I be employed?
Yeah, you're a more expensive buy.
Exactly.
And yet you guys are going to do the same exact job.
Exactly. So there's a very complex conversation to be had between both men and women, especially when it comes to rape and fake rape claims. We cannot trust you 100% because nobody on this earth is 100% trustworthy.
Yeah.
Nobody, no man, no woman is trustworthy 100%. So for the sake of those who might be affected by fake rape claims, which, as we have discussed, can be crazy horrible.
Yeah.
Just give them a chance. All we're asking for is a bloody chance to prove their case. If they're guilty, jail them, castrate them, whatever you want to do, man. I don't give a shit. You rape people, you deserve to get your shit cut off. It's that simple. But if you're innocent, you shouldn't go through all that just so that somebody's ego can be fed and so that they can say, we made a man pay.
All right, my take on this is, as much as there's this whole fight for equality, we need to make sure that it's a fight about equality and not about female privilege, because that's what it sounded like for the most part. Yes, rapes do happen, and it's very sad that it happens, and we always hope that we can bring the perpetrators to justice. But at the same time, there's fake rape accusations that come out, and those aren't pretty in the slightest. You can ruin someone's life, even though they're not doing anything of that sort, just because you're uncomfortable. And you need to think that through. As much as you want to demonize and ostracize one entire side, like, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I have fought against people who always talk about men are trash, and to some level I am going to come out and say I was wrong, because I was attacking them. And the truth of the matter is, we just need to be calling these people as they are: rapists, sex offenders, sexual harassers.
Absolutely.
And we need to attack them together on that line. I don't have a problem with women that absolutely hate them. Hell, I hate them as well if they actually did it. But I don't think we need to attack one entire gender for the actions that are carried out by both.
Don't attack your allies, then complain that your allies are not helping you, because that's what's happening.
Yeah.
They attack all men, then they'll be like, men are quiet. Where the fuck are men? Why are they so quiet? Well, it's because you attacked all of us, and I speaking for myself, because I've seen this post. Every woman knows a woman who has been raped, but no man knows a rapist. I'll tell you for a fact, I do not know any rapists. I do not know one. And if I did, they'd not be my friend. I can tell you that for free. Yeah.
And with that being said, I don't think that the fight is supposed to be against men. Yes, it should be with men. But worse still, if you're a man and you're also on that side, personally, I have a higher dislike for you than the women that say men are trash.
Oh, we need to talk about those niggas.
If you're a man that says men are trash, you're a part of the problem as well. Because this whole thing of if the shoe fits, if the shoe doesn't fit, that's honestly bullshit in my right. You've said men, you mean men. So we need to address it as something that has been an attack towards men. But at the same time, We're not supposed to be fighting each other. We're supposed to be fighting for each other. Anyways, that being said, we want to know your thoughts and feedback. You can hit us up on the IG page at Breaktime on Westside. If you want to hit me up on Twitter, it is at Bagaka. The D, the B, and the D are capital. I will catch you guys on the next break. Peace.